Ah, baby, only you? You are eating food with four big meat? You want to finish my money? Mama, I'm tired of this marriage. Your son is very stingy. Mama, can you imagine? He goes to the market by himself so that I will not cheat him. Mama, he counts the number of meat in our pot of soup. Many years ago, in the city of Lagos, there lived a certain man named Johnson. Johnson was a fine man with big money. He was the proud owner of several Mercedes-Benz spare parts shops in Lagos. He was rich, yes, with a physique and smile that had women drooling all over him. Johnson was that kind of man the ladies referred to as Ororo because he was neat, sharp and always put together. And the ladies kept falling all over him as he was the complete package. He was handsome, check. He was rich, check. He was single, check. But I know you might be wondering what the but is all about. Johnson was a penny pincher. He was very stingy, what people refer to as akagom. Johnson could never spend a penny on his woman. To buy a gift or show love monetarily was a big problem. To even spend money on himself was even a bigger problem. He had just 5 pairs of shirts and trousers, which he rotated every week. He never saw the need to buy extra clothes for himself despite his wealth, because he had always felt buying too much clothes was waste of money. In his philosophy, if you spend big money on buying clothes, you will need to spend big money in maintaining the clothes. But his stingy behavior didn't leave him without scars. Over the years, no woman had been able to stay with Johnson for more than 3 months. The longest relationship he had was 2 months and 6 days. All the women left because they couldn't cope. At first, Johnson didn't mind that the women kept leaving him. He felt they were all after his money, so he willingly let them go. But as the years passed, Johnson was almost 40 yet still single because no woman wanted to marry him. This became a source of concern to Johnson. He was not getting any younger. He craved companionship and the warmth of a family. So one day he called his mother in the village and told her to look for a good girl from the village for him to marry. Mama, I need a very good girl. All these Lagos girls, their eyes are always doing pium, looking for rich men to suck dry. I need a good girl from a good home with good character, Johnson said. Okay, my son. But my son, to look for a wife is not the problem. Oh. Will you take care of her? This your stinginess, will it not pursue any girl that agrees to marry you like this? I have always told you to loosen your hand a little. Women love money, to be pampered and taken care of. Mama, I've heard you. I will pamper my wife if she has good character. Help me get a good girl. Oh. After that call, Mama Johnson got to work immediately. She began the ultimate search for a good wife for her son. She knew her son very well, so she made sure to get a very naive, low-maintenance village girl for Johnson, so they won't have issues. Because it might be easier for an elephant to pass through the eye of a needle than for Johnson to change his stingy ways. But what could she do? She loved her son, and she wanted him to settle down too. After weeks of searching and observing, Mama Johnson found the perfect candidate for her son. She was a beautiful girl. Her name was Awele. Awele had just finished her secondary school, but couldn't further her university education because her parents were poor. She was a well-mannered girl with good physique for childbearing. Mama Johnson had been observing Awele for weeks, and she looked like a simple low-maintenance girl who wouldn't give Johnson so much problem in the house. So one evening, Mama Johnson went to Awele's house to greet her parents and informed them of her son's intentions to marry their daughter. Papa Awele, I saw a very ripe flower in this your house, and I have come to state my intentions about that beautiful flower. My son Johnson, who lives in the city, wants to marry your daughter Awele. I've been observing her and I know she's a very good girl, Mama Johnson said. Awele's parents looked at each other briefly and they smiled. Johnson was a big man in the city. If he married their daughter, then their fortune would change overnight, they thought. They couldn't send Awele to the university. At least Johnson can train her when he marries her and also take care of their family. That day, without hesitation, Awele's family agreed to the arrangement. This was an opportunity of a lifetime. When Awele learned that her parents had agreed to Mama Johnson's proposal, she kicked against it at first because she didn't know Johnson personally and she wanted to finish her university education. But her parents convinced her of the benefits of marrying Johnson, the wealth, the respect and comfort she would live in for the rest of her life. And Johnson would train her in school too. Awele thought about it, and it was not a bad deal at all. In fact, it was a golden opportunity for her life and her family to change, she thought. If only she knew. A few weeks later, Johnson traveled to the village to meet Awele and her family in person and finalize the marital rite. When he saw Awele in her father's house, his heart skipped a beat. Awele was beautiful, with a beautiful body that made him twitch with excitement. He was satisfied with his mother's choice. And Awele, she couldn't believe Johnson, her husband-to-be, was this handsome and young. She thought he was one ugly old man. But what she saw had her heart dancing with excitement. And to crown it all, he was a wealthy man. How the heavens had blessed her and her family, she thought. The rest of the wedding ceremony went like a blur, and Johnson took his new wife Awele to the city in his luxurious jeep. When they got to Johnson's mansion, Awele couldn't believe her eyes. The house was big, with luxurious furniture that Awele had only seen on TV. Is this my life now? Madam of a big mansion, she muttered under her breath as she kept pinching herself to confirm if this was a dream. But it was real. That night, Awele laid in Johnson's arms, snuggling with him like a cat with a wild grin of joy and fulfillment on her face. She was blessed, she thought as she dozed off into a deep sleep with beautiful dreams. The next morning, Awele was woken up by a light tap on her shoulder. "Baby, Asa, wake up, it's morning," Johnson said with a smile on his face. Awele tiredly got up. She was still feeling sleepy and tired from the events of yesterday. "My husband, what is the matter?" "Baby, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh. You need to get up to prepare my food. You know this is Lagos. I need to leave the house before 7 o'clock so I can get to the shop on time." "Time is money, my love," Johnson said with a bright smile plastered across his face. "Eh? Wake up and cook for him by 4 a.m.? Ah, Awele was shocked. She had never done this in her father's house before. Today was their first day as a married couple. She thought they would do honeymoon like a rich couple, but now it seems things were not going in that direction. Awele was not happy, but she didn't show her feelings. She tiredly dragged her body from the bed with a smile on her face and went downstairs to prepare pounded yam and vegetable soup for her husband. For the next couple of months, Awele started to notice strange things about Johnson. He had just 5 pairs of outfits. Johnson never let her go to the market. He did all the shopping by himself and he knew the exact price for all the foodstuff in the market. But what really baffled Awele was that Johnson counts the number of meats inside their pot of soup. One day, Johnson came home from work and met Awele eating on the dining table. Johnson went close to where Awele was eating and scanned the plate of food with his eyes to check how many meats Awele had on the plate. And when he counted 1, 2, 3, 4, he shouted, "Ah, baby, only you? You are eating with 4 big meats? You want to finish my money? Times are hard though. You have to manage food in this house." Oh. Awele laughed lightly. thinking Johnson was just joking. But he wasn't. Johnson did film trick in her eyes that day. He went to the kitchen and got a plate to remove 2 pieces of meat from Awele's food. Awele sat there shocked to her bones. Meat? Ah, this man is stingy, no. But that was not all. Johnson monitored the quantity of food Awele ate in the house. If Awele ate more than a plate of food, he would shout, Asa, don't finish my money, oh. We need to manage the food stuff in the house till next month, oh. Ah, this was trouble, oh. The worst part was that Johnson never gave his wife money for upkeep. She was still wearing the same set of clothes she brought from the village. Sometimes she would carry a particular hairstyle for 3 months before Johnson would give her money to change it. What about skincare? That one sounded like French in Johnson's ears. Skincare was a waste of money. Awele was not happy. She married a rich man, but she was living in his house like a housemaid. Her life in the village was even better than now. Even though her parents were poor, they never monitored the quantity of food she ate or the number of meat she took from the pot. This kind of life was not what she envisioned for herself. She thought her life would turn for the better once she married Johnson, but it seems things were going backward for her. After she had done everything to please Johnson to no avail, she called her mother-in-law one day to complain about her husband's behavior. When Mama Johnson saw the caller, her heart dropped to her stomach. She knew this call was not about something good. Johnson had done it again. Hello, my daughter, how are you? Mama Johnson asked. Mama, I'm not fine, oh. I don't understand Johnson's behavior, oh. He's very stingy. Mama, can you imagine? He has never given me money for my upkeep. Mama, your son goes to the market by himself so that I will not cheat him. He counts the number of meat in our pot of soup. Mama, I'm suffering in this house, oh. My parents treated me better than this. I'm tired of this marriage, Mama. Awele, my daughter, be patient with him. His father was like that too. You see, my daughter, some men are like this. But once you get pregnant like this, you will see changes. Be patient. What you should focus on now is how to get pregnant. Once you get pregnant like this, bam, he will change. Awele thought about what Mama Johnson said, and she decided to take the woman's advice. From that time, she started doing everything to get pregnant. She stopped complaining about Johnson's behavior and did everything she could to please him, waking up very early to pound yam and prepare his favorite food, cleaning the entire house and respecting him. It wasn't long after that Awele's efforts paid off. She became pregnant. When she told Johnson about it, he was overjoyed, but that didn't mean he changed overnight. As the weeks passed, Awele started having pregnancy cravings, and whenever she asked Johnson for money to satisfy her cravings, he would refuse and call her long throat. On one occasion, Awele had cravings for chicken and ice cream, and she told her husband thinking he would understand, but his response shocked her to her bones. Asa, you want to chop chicken and ice cream? Ah, where did you learn that kind of long throat from? Do you want to finish my money? That money for that ice cream and chicken can cook 2 pots of soup for us in this house. Ah, no. But honey, I'm pregnant with your child, and my baby wants chicken and ice cream this evening. Asa, I can't buy you chicken and ice cream, oh. It's so expensive. It's not as if you are the first woman to get pregnant. When my mother was pregnant, she never had cravings for big things like this. Please, oh, I can't waste my money on your long throat. If you want chicken and ice cream that badly, you can go and hog pure water at the market. After all, your mates are doing it. Awele's mouth fell open in shock. This man was never going to change. That day, she called Mama Johnson again, crying out her eyes and complaining bitterly about Johnson. Mama Johnson consoled her and told her to be patient. She even sent her daughter-in-law some pocket money to get whatever she wanted. Things continued like this until one day, Johnson returned from work like any other day, but just as he was about to change into a more comfortable house clothes, his vision suddenly got blurred and he collapsed on the floor in the bedroom. When Awele discovered that her husband had passed out cold on the floor, She panicked and called for help, and Johnson was rushed to the hospital. When he regained consciousness at the hospital, the doctor delivered some devastating news to him. Mr. Johnson, we ran some tests on you and we discovered something rather unpleasant, the doctor said with a straight and serious face. Doctor, what is it? What is unpleasant? Mr. Johnson, we found a tumor in your brain, in a very dangerous part of your brain. We can't operate because the tumor had spread and had gotten bigger. Give or take, you have only 3 months to live. The doctor's words shocked Johnson to his bones. His heart was racing 1,000 times per minute. But doctor, I'm very young and healthy. How come? Johnson asked as tears welled up in his eyes. Mr. Johnson, some type of tumors don't show signs until late stages when it is too late. But that is the result we got from the test we ran on you. It is not looking good at all, if I must be honest. Johnson's world was shattered into 1,000 pieces. He couldn't believe his ears. Brain tumor? 3 months to live? That day he begged the doctor not to tell his family anything, as he didn't want his old mother or pregnant wife to panic. A few days later, Johnson was discharged from the hospital, and he went home to face a very harsh reality that he had just 3 months to live. He thought about all the years of hard work. He thought about the money he had been saving in the bank. So everything is going to go to waste? He thought about his discipline all these years, how he had denied himself of pleasure and good things of life just to save money and become rich. Now he won't be alive to enjoy the fruit of his labor. Johnson thought about his young wife and unborn son, who he won't even have the opportunity to meet because he will be long gone by the time the child is born. And his heart broke. He cried his life secretly in the bathroom every time. Awele noticed her husband's strange behavior and how he had become very quiet in the house since he returned from the hospital. When she asked him what the problem was, he couldn't bring himself to tell his wife about his condition. He lied that he was just tired and needed rest, and Awele never thought much to it. That week, Johnson made up his mind and did something he would never have done in his life. He hired a lawyer to write his will. He transferred all his properties to his mother, his wife and unborn son. He gave the lawyer instructions on how to share his money that he had been saving in the bank for years amongst his family. One evening, Johnson called Awele and gave her a check of 10 million naira. Awele was frozen in shock when she saw the amount. She couldn't believe her eyes. Honey, is this for me? Awele asked with surprise. Yes, Asa. This is for you to start any business of your choice. If it is not enough, tell me, I will add more to it. Awele pinched herself several times to confirm if she was dreaming. Was this the same Johnson who refused to buy her chicken and ice cream? What suddenly happened to him to make him change overnight, she wondered. For the next couple of weeks, Awele lived in luxury and comfort for the first time in her life since she married Johnson. Johnson lavished her with expensive clothes, gifts and jewelry. He even gave her money to send back home to her parents, something he had never done before. Johnson was completely transformed overnight. He took her out and pampered her. Johnson spared no expense in making her happy, and that scared Awele. She couldn't understand what was happening to her husband. One day, she called her mother-in-law and told her about Johnson's strange behavior and how he had transformed overnight. Mama, I don't understand Johnson's behavior. Mama, he has changed completely. He now gives me money. He buys me clothes and pamper me. Mama, I'm scared though. My daughter, is this not what we have been praying for? For him to change? God has finally answered our prayers. Enjoy your husband's money, my daughter. You have worked hard for it, Mama Johnson said as she laughed. But Awele couldn't shake off the feeling that all was not well with her husband. This his sudden kindness was strange. Something was definitely fishy. One evening, she called Johnson and asked him what the problem was. Honey, I've been noticing you in this house for some time now. I'm happy that you are taking care of me but you're hiding something from me. Is there something you are not telling me? Awele asked with worry. Asa, nothing is wrong oh. Nothing is wrong at all. Is it a crime to spend my hard-earned money on my family? I have realized that life is too short. I have been working and saving money without enjoying my life and showing love to the people around me. If I die now, who will enjoy the money? Who will enjoy the money I have gathered, eh? Johnson said smiling, but his heart was breaking inside him. He had just a few weeks to live, so he vowed to enjoy the remaining days of his life with his family and show them love as he should have all these years. A few weeks passed, and the 3 months the doctor gave Johnson to live came to an end. And Johnson was still alive, hale and healthy. At first, he thought maybe God had decided to extend his life, but after a couple of weeks, he went back to the hospital for checkup to be sure. The doctors did series of tests on him to confirm things. When the test results came out, the doctor's discovery shocked him to his bones. Mr. Johnson, the test result shows you are perfectly okay. There is no sign of tumor in your brain. You are as healthy as a horse, the doctor announced. But doctor, I was here some months ago and I was told I had brain tumor with only 3 months to live. Well, if you were told you had a brain tumor months ago, it means you were misdiagnosed. A couple of months ago, we had some issues with our patient's record, and the lab scientist in charge back then made a lot of mistakes with patient diagnosis that led to a lot of complications. But we have resolved all of that now, and we are sorry for the inconvenience this might have caused you. But this result here is very accurate. You can go to other hospitals to get a second opinion, the doctor said. Johnson was both shocked and relieved. He didn't know if he should be angry at the doctor or be grateful for the good news he had just received. Johnson was not convinced yet, so he went to several hospitals in the city for checkup, and they all said he never had brain tumor, that he was healthy. That day, Johnson returned home with tears streaming down his face. They were not tears of sorrow, they were tears of joy. When Awele saw her husband crying, fear gripped her, and she rushed to meet him and asked what the problem was. Honey, what is it? Are you okay? Are you hurt? Asa, my life had never been better. I just got the greatest news of my life. You remember months ago when I fainted and was rushed to the hospital. The doctor told me I had brain tumor and I had just 3 months to live. Awele froze in shock at his revelation. Eh, my husband, are you dying? She cried out as tears streamed down her face. No, my love, I'm not dying. I'm very healthy. So the 3 months they gave me passed and I decided to go back for checkup, and the doctor told me I was misdiagnosed, that I never had brain tumor. I went to other hospitals too and they all said I never had brain tumor. Asa, I'm so happy, and I have learnt a great lesson these past few months, that life is too short to be stingy to yourself and people around you. I've been working just to save money because I was scared of poverty. But I never knew my actions were of a poverty mindset. Now I realize that I deserve good clothes and food and the good things of life. I have realized that I ought to take care of you, my wife. And I'm sorry for not realizing this sooner. I promise to take care of you and our unborn son, Johnson said as he held Awele close. It finally dawned on Awele. She had always felt something was wrong with Johnson when he kept lavishing her with money and gifts. So he thought he had 3 months to live. That was why he changed. She was grateful her husband now has a change of heart, despite the fact that he had to have a near-death experience for him to change. She hoped that this his new nature was permanent and that he wouldn't go back to his default settings. That was how Johnson, the penny pincher, became a changed person who knew the importance of taking care of himself and the people around him. Thank you for watching. Hi lovelies. What do you think of the story? What morals have you learned from the story? The moral of the story is that we should learn to take care of ourselves. We should learn to pamper ourselves sometimes. We work, we hustle, we grind, but sometimes we neglect our health. We neglect our bodies. Life is too short to be stingy to yourself and the people around you. Learn to take care of yourself while still saving and investing wisely. Thank you for watching again. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so by now. Until I bring another juicy and interesting story your way again. Bye for now.